Hi, I'm Casey Liu. I'm an elopement photographer and I'm the founder of Online Glow Up. Today I'm going to be helping you with some tips on writing your actual blog post. So, before you've gotten to this point, before you start actually writing anything, because I think a big holdup with blogging for a lot of people is that they'll just open up the blog post or Word document and just stare at this blank page and not know what to do. So by this point that you actually start writing the content, you should have already picked out a great blog topic, something that would easily have enough for your blog post, like enough content, not something that you wouldn't be able to write about, and not something that's like too broad of a topic that requires a book or maybe a guide that you write for people. So you pick the right blog topic, and from there you've done the research. And by that I mean looking at similar keywords and phrases, seeing what other people have put out on that topic, and those things will allow you to create the blog outline. And so once you have that blog outline, at least for me, it feels like it's just fill in the blank. You know, the job has become so much easier because you already have these topics that you want to write on, and you just need to put like a paragraph or two underneath each one. And I also want to address a lot of the people that I help with blogging, photographers, they're on two sides of the spectrum we have here. We have people, and it doesn't matter which one you are. Like both have their pros and cons, right? And I'll tell you which one I am. But there are people that really love writing. They love putting that flair on there. They love using descriptive language and all these words, like the vocabulary that people don't normally use, and making it sound beautiful. And their problem is that they tend to write too much, or maybe it's too fluffy. And so the worry for them is that they've written too much that nobody's going to sit and read through it all, or that it's not actually helpful information. So they need to make it more succinct and simplify, right? And then we have people on the other end of the spectrum that don't enjoy writing, that look at it with deer in the headlights, like big eyes, and they don't know what to write. They don't enjoy writing, and that's me. I'm on that end of the spectrum. But I love blogging because I don't feel like you have to be a good writer. You're not getting graded on this. This is not a thesis where you have to use a thesaurus to be able to have all these awesome vocabulary words in there. It's just a blog post that's really going to help somebody. That's the point of it, is that you want to think of it as talking to a friend. Like if someone asked you a question and you wanted to respond like really thoroughly, what would you tell them? And so some of the tips that I have for writing your blog post is just that. For some people, it's a lot easier to actually just record yourself talking. And that will also, number one, use your unique voice in the blog post. And so if your ideal audience is not like lawyers or people that normally use high vocabulary, dense language, don't use that kind of language. For most photographers, we're talking to normal people. So you use normal language that you would speak with them on the phone. And that's what we're going to put in the blog post. And so you can totally just open up your phone, hit record, look at your blog outline, and think, okay, this is, what I would say for this point. This is what I would say for the next point. And then you just play it back to yourself and you type it up as you're speaking. And that's a really good way to not get stuck, and also get out of your head a little bit, because we think so much faster than we write. And so by speaking it, it's much easier to be cohesive. And then another tip that I have is to keep it simple. So I actually don't go through and like count how many words I have in the blog post or try to like fill it up so I get to a certain amount. If you have a great topic and a great outline, you're going to get the minimum amount of words. And the minimum amount that I would suggest is around 500 words. But having that great topic and maybe like 3 to 6 subheadings under that and call to action points in there throughout, you're going to get to that point. The best blog posts, ones that you see in the number one spot of Google, are usually 1,000 to 2,000 words. That tells Google that it's really quality content that goes in depth on whatever the topic is. So those are just a couple of ways to write out your blog posts, but to also, I hope that gives you a new perspective on what the blog posts writing is actually like. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's scary, or you don't have to stress out that if you're not a good writer, and you don't have to stress out if you love writing. It's just something simple that's really going to help other people.